This past weekend, the UFC returned to St. Louis, and the star of the night, without a doubt, was the hometown boy, Joaquin Buckley. Beat Nurserdeem Ruzaboyev, and he beat him pretty good. He had a very impressive performance. He didn't get the stoppage finish, but outlanded him 86-31 in significant strikes, which was just impressive. Over 5 minutes of control time. He had 4 takedowns, which was great to see him mix in the ground control with his excellent striking, with his powerful strikes. It's just an unbelievable performance by Buckley. Really impressive after winning just a couple months ago back in March in Atlantic City against Vicente Luque. This was a really impressive performance. He was ranked number 11 coming into this fight, and to put on a performance like that really solidifies his spot in the welterweight division. His call-out after fight was Conor McGregor. Was that the best choice? No, it wasn't. That's for sure. Although his call-out wasn't great, let's be real. A lot of these call-outs nowadays never happen anyway. So I'm not going to fault him for shooting for the stars. Would I have done it? No, that's for sure. I would have called out Gilbert Burns, somebody like him, or even a Sean Brady. I think those are two fantastic matchups that are against guys ahead of him in the rankings by a couple spots, but are big names. And if he could get a win over that, Joaquin Buckley could be a real player here at 170 in the UFC. He could be a couple fights away from getting a title shot, which is crazy to think about, because after he moved weight, he was up and down, and now we have to look at him as a real player. He's won 4 straight fights, 2 of them by knockout, beat Vicente Luque, beat Ruzaboyev, who's a really good veteran, had over 40 fights heading into this fight. The fight before him, Carlos Ulberg totally just destroyed Alonzo Menifield in 12 seconds. Unbelievable performance by Ulberg. Wasn't ranked in the light heavyweight division coming into this fight, but he should be in the future. This guy is no joke. I really am high on Carlos Ulberg. He's won 6 straight fights, and he's had 5 straight finishes here in the UFC. He hasn't beat the best competition, that's for sure, but I think as he fights better competition, his star is going to shine even brighter. People are going to realize that Carlos Ulberg is a future champion. I really believe that. That's for sure. In the main event, Derrick Lewis, the Black Beast, was back in pure form. He knocked out Rodrigo Nascimento in the main event of this one. He knocked him out in the 3rd round. The fight was up and down. Nascimento was holding him on the ground for a little bit, had over 4 minutes of control time. Derrick Lewis had over 3 minutes, but Derrick Lewis outstruck him 41-27, and it just seemed like this was a waiting game of when Derrick Lewis was going to land a multiple combination strikes on Nascimento, and then it was going to be over quickly. And that's just what happened. In the 3rd round, he put together a couple good strikes. It was over quick. We saw Derrick Lewis, like I said, in his historic form, took his shorts off, threw his cup at a media member, was just crazy. It's just always great seeing Derrick Lewis on a fight night, a pay-per-view. Anytime we get to see him, he's just a treat. We shouldn't take Derrick Lewis for granted, because I really do believe that Derrick Lewis is a one of one. We're never going to see another guy like this that doesn't have the power that he has, which is one of the most powerful guys we've ever seen in this sport, but also just the fun, loving personality of Derrick Lewis. You never know what you're going to get when he fights and after he fights on the mic. I would love to see Derrick Lewis versus Jairzinho Rozenstruik next. I'm surprised this fight never came together. Two bigger guys in the heavyweight division have been in the top 10. They're ranked 1 spot apart in a little outside the top 10 right now in the UFC's heavyweight division. 2 powerful guys, 2 really big names in this heavyweight division. And I think the winner of that could really propel themselves back into the title picture. So that's the fight I want to see next. I want to see Buckley versus maybe Gilbert Burns next. And I think those would be 2 great fights. But overall, UFC St. Louis delivered.